It's the end of 2020. Let's celebrate. I have done more sewing and reading this year than, well, ever. So what's there to complain about? I did slow down in December just a little bit because of the surgery and recovery, but that didn't slow me down in the reading. That's what I spent most of my time doing this month. Let's take a look at what I've done. There were 3 books that I reviewed this month. Finding Hemingway with the wine gift bag, The Eldest Curses with the Chairman Meow pillow, and the reverse where I read In the Holidays, but I was inspired to read something holiday and fun by my adorable favorite new pair of overalls with my electrocuted kitty bib. The other 3 videos that I uploaded this month were 5 unique gifts you can sew, quick sew gifts everyone will love, and I read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas as a thank you to all of you for supporting me on this channel. If you caught any of these videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know, just a little shout out to me. Let me know you're watching. Now, quick update on the book club. We did have our first official meetup after everyone read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab in November. So on December 5th, we got together on Zoom. It was a very small group of us. I give shout out to Elise and Kristen who were there, and we had such a good time. We probably ended up spending a little more time getting to know each other and our book preferences and recommending a bunch of things to each other. But that's what made it so great. It was just a fun bonding time. We did, of course, still discuss the book. I had my oh-so-handy list of important questions to ask everyone. We went through a few of them, mostly discussed how we felt about it. It was a good time. We will be continuing on in January, probably the first weekend in January, with discussion on Gideon the Ninth, so there's still time to get in on that. We haven't yet announced our next book for January, but if you join us in the Facebook group, they'll put the links in the description below, but the Literary Sewist Book Club, and we will announce there as well as on my Instagram, and come join us. We'd love to talk with you. We'd love to talk about all the things that everybody's reading, and I can't wait to get into January and see what we're going to read. If you're a member of the book club, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you and see who's watching and also talking with me in the chat. The books that I was able to finish in the month of December, I started with We Hunt the Flame. I actually started it at the end of November and I was finally able to get through it. Thanks to surgery, I got to sit down and just have some relaxing time. I ended up giving it 5 stars. It is an adventure story told from 2 different perspectives. We have Zafira, who is a young woman. She goes against the societal expectations of women and she puts on a hood, goes out hunting. She becomes this famous hunter of the R's. They secretly provide additional food to the people of her hometown. We have Nasir, who is not only the son of the Sultan, he is also the Sultan's assassin. So the 2 of them get sent on a quest to retrieve this artifact that's supposed to bring back magic to the kingdom of Arawiya. There are a few more characters that we meet on this adventure and bonding and things that happen. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I liked the way all of the characters fell into place and their personalities and their purpose of everything. Was left so open. I'm dying to get the next book, which is due out in January. I was also listening to The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This was also a 5-star review for me. I found the story to be ridiculously unique. The city of New York is under threat of alien attack, but not in the way that you might think. The avatars of New York, who represent the different boroughs and different cultures of New York City, must come together to protect and defend the city. I feel like this is one of those stories that I can't really give a whole lot of detail without being super spoilery, so just go read it. It's ridiculous and creative and immersive and so fantastic all at the same time. Just check it out. Next up for me was Mexican Gothic. I picked up this story a few months before and I've been itching to read it ever since. I love a good horror story. This one starts out with Noemi, who is a young socialite debutante. She would rather go to university than go out and find a husband, but she does enjoy the glamour life. Don't get me wrong. She gets called to her father's house to discuss a message that they received from her cousin. Her cousin was recently married and left the city to go out to a rural part of Mexico to live with her new husband and his family. The message they got leaves them to believe that something is not quite right. She's fallen ill, but it leads you to believe that there's some kind of weird thing going on there. So Noemi and her father decide that she is the best one to go out and talk to her cousin because they're exceptionally close. The story does have some very creepy elements, some darker side of things, but it definitely took me in a direction I was not expecting. I very much enjoyed it, and yes, this was another 5-star read for me this month. In a Holidays, I did a full review on this. Go watch the video. It was 5 stars. I absolutely loved every moment of it. Exactly what I wanted to read in the month of December. I snuck in 2 other short stories this month, even though they weren't originally on my TBR. The first one was the original by Brandon Sanderson and Mary Robinette Cowell. It is the story of a woman who awakens and finds out that she's actually a replica of her human original person. She is now being told that that her original murdered her husband, and she is now tasked with killing herself. So it's very short, it's very detailed, it goes through a lot of the psychological side of how this might affect somebody's mentality going through this, because she has all of her memories, all of her emotions, all of the feelings. She just doesn't know why she would have killed her husband. I gave this one 4 stars only because it was a little too short. I know that's the intention. There's supposed to be more, but I felt like just in that little intro, there needed to be just a tiny bit more. So that's why I gave it 4 stars. And the second one was How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. My mother actually got this for my daughter. She got her the cool Owl Crate edition with the green cover. It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. The white cover and the black cover that I've seen. I think there's also a purple cover. All of them. The artwork is absolutely incredible. If you enjoyed the Folk of the Air series at all, please go pick this up. It's just stunning to look through and look at all the pictures. The art is just so beautiful. I love it. Love it. And the story itself is a bunch of little short stories within it. We see Carden as a young boy before he becomes jaded. We see him becoming the jaded, cruel prince that we know him to be when we first meet him in the series. And then we see what takes place a little bit after the series as well. So you do get a little bit of Jude in this as well. So it's a good stretch of story, nothing too heavy, nothing too difficult, which is kind of why I picked it up, because it was a quick, fun read. But I loved it. It was a 5-star read for me, but I love the original series. So that's probably why. Plus the art was just, perfect. There were a couple books that I have not yet finished. In November, I had started the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I have not picked that up again, only because I listen to it while I'm sewing, and I haven't been sewing, so it's there. I am going to try a little bit harder to get to it this month so I can hopefully finish it up before the end of the year. I also have not finished this month's book club pick yet, Gideon the Ninth. The last couple days with the holidays, it's been a little crazy, so I've been having a harder time focusing. I kept getting distracted by all these little other stories that I wanted to read. So Gideon the Ninth, I've got a week to finish it. We've got to push through and get that one done so I can go and discuss it with the book club, of course. There were several books I didn't get to that I'd put on my TBR for the month of December. I'm going to take those books and those books alone and put them on my January TBR because I don't want to overwhelm myself again. I think I made a bad habit of putting too much on my shoulders, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to start the month off with the 11th Wheel of Time book, The Knife of Dreams. So that's a continuation of the Wheel of Time, of course. I just picked it up on audiobook from the library this morning, so I've started maybe 15 minutes. That'll get me into January in full swing, and hopefully I will get it done before it expires, because it's on the longer side. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I think this is the 4th month it's been on my TBR, and I need to make it a priority because it's really sad and I hear nothing but fantastic, wonderful things about it. I've been itching to read it, dying to read it. The more people I hear read it, the more I'm like, okay, Allie, make it a priority. So I'm also going to be picking this up as my physical book as soon as I'm done with Gideon the Ninth. It's about a 16-year-old girl who gets accepted into an exclusive college program. Once she gets there, she realizes that she's witnessing a magical attack and she gets recruited into the society, but she doesn't know, are they the good guys or are they the bad guys, but she's going to find out. So that's what I know about it. That's where I'm going to take it, and it's going to be read this month. It is. Oathbringer. Also one that's been on the TBR for a few months now. I've got to get to it. It's the third book in the Stormlight Archive. My husband needs to start Rhythm of War because I want to start that as soon as I finish this. Hopefully this will keep me engaged. I have high expectations for it based on the community's response to this book and the future Rhythm of War. So in the meantime, this is going to get read in January as well. Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. This came out in November. It's been sitting on my shelves in all its glory, calling my name. I love everything by her. I want to pick this up. I definitely want to know more about this girl Prudence, who is a very smart girl and very quick to make judgment calls on other people. She is all of a sudden bestowed with the power of instant karma. She can grant instant karma on people. Unfortunately, they don't work on Quint, who is her lazy lab partner. And now Prue must figure out why. These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but set in 1920s Shanghai with two rival gangs. So color me intrigued. I'm very interested to see how this plays out, how much it's representative of Romeo and Juliet, and, you know, it's a classic love story. Who doesn't want to read that? The only other book I'm adding to my January TBR is going to be the book club pick for January. I don't want to overwhelm myself, so I need to keep things at a minimum. If I find myself with a little bit of time at the end of the month, I may squeeze in We Free the Stars, which is the sequel to We Hunt the Flame. It comes out in January, so I'll be picking it up. Even if I don't read it right away, it's going to be on my shelves and on my TBR eventually. So very much want to know what's happening with that story. If any of these books will be on your TBR, give this video a thumbs up. If you've read any of them, let me know what you think in the comments. I can't wait to discuss. Please come join the book club. We would love to have you. So sewing plans and video plans are a little up in the air right now. Since I had surgery at the beginning of the month and I didn't really sew at all in December, I am also having surgery this week and will probably not be able to sew for most of January either. So I'm trying to put together some videos that are interesting to both sides of people, both my readers and my sewists. Hopefully there's a bunch of you that falls into both categories and we can get some interesting content going. I want to still communicate with you, which the book club is a great way to do that. You can put comments on my videos. I'd love to hear from you. Anything you want to see, please let me know. I would be happy to see what I can do to work them in. I do have a couple of friends who are willing to do some sewing stuff for me if I need to. So just let me know. I'd love to hear what you have to say and what you would like to see on this channel. Either way, stay tuned for details. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. And until then, see you next time.